to another media briefing here from Kenyatta International Conference Center. We'd like to welcome you wherever you are in our country. Nasema karibu sana tena kwa mfumo mwingine wa hotuba kutoka kwa serikali kutoka hapa katika jumba la mikutano la Kenyatta International Conference Center. Popote ulipo katika nchi yetu, ukiwa kaskazini, kusini, magharibi, mashariki, bonde la ufa, nasema karibu. Tunakuwa hivi leo ni siku nzuri, so tuko na wageni maalum ambao wameweza kujiunga pamoja nasi. Kwa hivyo popote ulipo nasema karibu sana. Jina langu ni Alfred Mutua, najivunia kuwa Mkenya. We're very very pleased, tumefurahi sana. Tuko pia hivi leo na waziri kutoka nchi mpya ya South Sudan ambaye anaitwa Daktari Barnaba Mariel Benjamin, ambaye ni waziri anayeshughulikia mambo ya mawasiliano, information and broadcasting, na pia ndiye official government spokesperson wa nchi ya Republic of South Sudan. So welcome.
Thank you.
Ameambatana na maafisa wengi kutoka kule ambao wamekuja. Yuko pamoja pia na permanent secretary wake, wanamuita director general, anaitwa bwana Mustafa Biong Majak, amekaa hapa, so ndio permanent secretary wake. Pia yuko na pia director wake engineering bwana Martin Paul yuko hapa, na wengine wengi ambao wameweza kujiunga pamoja na. So we say welcome to Kenya. We're very pleased that you're able to join us today in our media briefing. All illegally striking health professionals who denied the directive by the Honorable Minister for Medical Services to report back to work have been sacked. 25,000 of these officers have by this morning been deleted from the payroll. Letters of dismissal are ready and are being issued. All qualified health professionals who are unemployed and or retired have been advised to report to their nearest health facility for interviews and deployment starting tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. That is tomorrow, Friday, March the 9th, 2012 at 9 o'clock. So all other health professionals, maybe they are retired, maybe they are finished university, they don't have jobs, please proceed to your nearest health facility tomorrow morning by 9 o'clock and for an interview and immediate deployment and hiring. Make sure you carry all your necessary documents. So to repeat again, all illegally striking health professionals who have for the last few days defied the directive by the Honorable Minister for Medical Services to report back to work have been dismissed, have been sacked. They amount to 25,000 of these officers, and by this morning they have all been deleted from the payroll, and their letters of dismissal are ready and are being issued as we speak. The government has taken this firm action to alleviate further suffering of innocent Kenyans. It is indeed wrong and unethical, regardless of any disagreement, for health professions, for anybody in the health profession, to abscond from duty and lead to the loss of life and or suffering of any patient. The government and indeed the people of Kenya will not tolerate this. Kwa lugha ya Kiswahili kwa ufupi ni kusema kwamba wale wafanyikazi wa umma wanaofanya kazi katika Wizara ya Afya ambao walikuwa kwenye mgomo ambao sio halali, ambao walikiuka amri ya kurejea kazini, wote wameachishwa kazi mara moja. Hawa wanaofikia 25,000 tayari wameondolewa katika orodha wa wafanyikazi wa serikali na malipo ya serikali, na barua zao za kuwafuta kazi ziko tayari, na wengine tayari wameanza kuzipokea. Wale wote ambao wamehudumu na wamehitimu kama wafanyikazi wa katika kazi ya hali ya afya ambao wanatafuta kazi, pengine wengine walikuwa pengine wameenda nyumbani katika hali retirement, tunaomba kesho wanaotafuta kazi uende kwenye hospitali ama zahanati ama center yote iliyo karibu na kwako kesho asubuhi tarehe 9 mwezi wa mwaka huu wa March, Ijumaa, kuanzia saa 3 asubuhi uende na makaratasi zako uweze kuhojiwa, na ukipatikana unafaa kupewa kazi mara moja. Serikali imeamua kwamba haitakubali Wakenya waage dunia na wafe na waumie, waendelee kuumia katika mgomo ambao sio halali. Na kwa hivyo imefanya hivi ndio kusema kwamba kuna kazi zingine ambazo kweli watu hawapasi kwenda mgomo, hata kwa kuna shida ina gani, mtu hapasi kumwangalia mtu aje age dunia ama ateseke katika hali ya kufanya hiyo kazi. Serikali pia ingependa kusema ya kwamba imefanya mambo kadhaa ya kuwezesha wale wanaofanya kazi katika wizara hizi za afya kuwa wanafanya kazi katika hali malipo ambayo wanafaa. The government has harmonized external allowances according to job groups to all health workers and support staff, ranging from 5,000 to 40,000 shillings. And this is implementable in two phases. Phase 1 from 1st December 2011, and the health professionals will draw allowances ranging from 15,000 to 40,000. And we'll be giving more details. Phase 2 will start July 1st, 2012, which will require approximately 10 billion shillings. The government wishes to assure all that circulating information that a Kenyan hospitality venue is being targeted for a possible terrorist attack is not accurate. Extreme and intense investigation and security measures in place indicate that the circulating warnings are just mere circulation. Kenya continues to work with all concerned parties and the international community to fight the international crime of terrorism. When there is a credible threat, the government will issue appropriate advisories. The government discourages agencies and other organizations or groups from forwarding speculative information before verifying it first with the Kenyan government security agencies. I'm very pleased at this time to introduce our Minister, but before our Minister, I'd like to say that the Kenyan government has been working very closely with the government of South Sudan from the difficult days. And we've been able to continue with this relationship because we have an office called the KESULO, Kenya Southern Sudan Liaison Office, which has been there for a while, led by, everybody knows him, Ambassador Elijah Matibo, former Kano, former ambassador to Ethiopia, to Sudan actually, to Khartoum, yeah. And he's the one who's organized even for the minister to come here, so we want to thank you very much. And his office that has done quite a lot in terms of this partnership that we have and the continued friendship that we have. So I'd like to, at this juncture, welcome the Honorable Minister to come and share with us a few insights, a few things we can learn from Sudan. Karibu, welcome.
Thank you very much. First of all, my brother, Dr. Alfred Mutua, the Kenyan spokesperson of the Republic of Kenya, on behalf of myself and on behalf of my delegation who are here on a study tour, incidentally organized by, of course, through a sort of a program of assistance between the Republic of Kenya and the Republic of South Sudan. I seize this opportunity to thank the Kenyan government, the leadership and the people for this great collaboration in enhancing capacity building program in the Republic of South Sudan. We have been here for the last 4 days as Minister of Information and Broadcasting so that we have a practical feel on how much Kenya has come since 1963 in handling its information and communication. And we have been visiting various institutions, media houses, and one is happy to see a lot of young faces who are journalists. I'm sure this is an indication in how much the media process has developed in your country. The second thing I would like to share with you is the importance of LAPSET, that is the Lamu Port, South Sudan, Ethiopia transport project. I think this to our two countries, especially the three countries, Kenya, South Sudan and Ethiopia, I think this is a very important project in terms of our posterity, in terms of the citizens in the three countries, because it is not just simply a port for us to export our oil, building a pipeline, incidentally, which is going to be a very long pipeline, but it actually makes our landlocked country to have the possibility of exporting a very important resource, the energy resource, to the international market. As you know now, we have problems with the pipeline that goes through Khartoum to Port Sudan. We are now virtually two countries. We have divorced very peacefully. We don't want to have any shake-ups again of reverting back to war. Many people must have been surprised why there was a shutdown of oil fields, a decision taken by the Republic of South Sudan as a very strategic decision is simply because the Republic of Sudan in Khartoum actually detained our ships at Port Sudan, not allowing them to take crude oil into the international market. Not only that, they equally started to order the operating companies to actually load our own oil, which is a transit commodity, into the ships and of the Republic of Sudan to sell it in the international market. I don't know, what do you call that if you take somebody's property without permission? That was another thing that happened. So to us, why would we allow oil to come out of the ground if it is going to end up with another sovereign state? If we had allowed this oil to come out of our oil fields, they would end up taking 80% of our oil. Even when we were one country, we were sharing 50-50. Now we are a sovereign, independent state. There's no way in which the resource of a different country can be taken without prior agreement. That's why we thought the leadership, President Salva Kiir Mayardit with its cabinet and parliament, decided the best thing to do is to keep our oil on the ground. Definitely, it impacts on us. It actually caters for 97-98% of our budget. But it's equally impact on Khartoum. It pays for 70% of their export requirements. So two countries are affected incidentally. But if you allow the oil to go, we equally lose 80%. So it is a catch-22 situation where the Republic of South Sudan is going to lose one of its most important resources. And so what we decided was to keep the oil on the ground until we build our pipeline. And so the LAPSET project, with one of its important projects, is the pipeline from South Sudan going right up to Lamu Port. Will take maybe 2 years. By that time, we can be able to export our oil. I'm sure most of you will be asking, but what will your budgetary needs be fulfilled from where? Well, we have other contingency measures that were put in place. We have, of course, our reserves are there. There are also non-oil revenue resources through custom taxation and many others that we can be able to do. We are equally also preparing other road transport system. We have another pipeline that we have signed between us, Ethiopia and Djibouti. And as we speak today, we have only 75 kilometers of road that needs to be tarmac from the oil fields going to Ethiopia. And then it means within the next 6 or year, we might be able to use tankers using that road that can go straight up to Djibouti. It will give us little money, not much. Even if it is $30 million a month, it will not be bad. We are equally thinking of the Nile. The greatest part of the Nile is in the Republic of South Sudan. It is navigable. We can have barges on the Nile from the oil fields to Juba. And already now we are about to finish a tarmac road, about 200 kilometers joining us to Uganda. If this road is completed just before the middle of this year, we can just, with barges, bring our oil, load it on the tankers, and drive it right up to Mombasa, equally the same. These are contingency measures where we can be doing, trying to meet our budgetary requirements while at the same time building our pipeline. But the other important thing, which is the second thing I would like to stress, is the other projects within LAPSET. These projects include a railway connection. It includes a highway for the three countries. The highway actually and the railway actually connects us right up to West Africa. This is another exit, not only for Kenya and South Sudan, equally for Ethiopia. And we are going to traverse the whole continent. Don't forget, South Sudan is a huge territory, incidentally. You are talking, it is bigger than Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, and Burundi combined. We can get all your land, drop it into South Sudan, and we can have extra land to give to others. So we are a huge chunk of land with enormous resources. And that's why we are encouraging investment, because we are starting from the scratch. And I believe most of you, as young people of this country and as media expertise and professionals, it is important these messages are carried to the general public so that the element of investment, which is the cornerstone of the state neighborhood, And especially when we are going to be a part of the East African community, there is a need that this virgin resource territory of the Republic of South Sudan is assisted. And that is the philosophy of our cooperation in terms of the MOU we signed with your government, the government of the Republic of Kenya, so that you can enhance training capacities. As we speak today, we have about 80 senior civil servants from Kenya who are attached to our various ministries. This is to assist on the job training. We have equally now, through this project, Kenyan government, through its program of assistance, has trained about 2,500 civil servants from the Republic of South Sudan. So we are really getting closer. And as they say in the Bible, you know, you don't choose your neighbor, you only choose your friends. That's how we marry our wives, isn't it? But you don't choose your neighbor. You may have a good neighbor or a bad neighbor. Finally, I would like to assure the people in the Republic of Kenya that the Comprehensive Peace Agreement has brought a permanent peace to South Sudan. We are not interested and we cannot be dragged into any war anymore with the Republic of Sudan. Because while we speak on the 29th of February, despite what we call the non-aggression treaty we have signed with Khartoum in Addis Ababa through the High Implementation Panel of the African Union, Khartoum Air Force was bombing some of our territories, and incidentally they bombed 2 of our oil fields on the 29th of February. We will protect our territory, we will protect our sovereignty, but we are giving assurance to the parents of the Comprehensive Peace Agreement that South Sudan will never go back to war again. And that's why today, since on the 6th of this month, we are already having a panel of discussion and dialogue with a delegation from the Republic of Sudan under the AU mediation in Addis Ababa since the 6th of this month, mediated by former President of South Africa, Mbeki. And this is our assurance as a government that our people have suffered so long, we will not be in a position to go to any war. But I hope the sense of responsibility will come to the Republic of Sudan so that this warmongering and the drums of war should actually be silenced once and for all, so that we enhance our cooperation, we improve our trade relations, we strengthen our transport mechanisms, and any disputes to be resolved through dialogue. And this is what Kenya has been doing. And we thank them for that. Spirit of peace and the spirit of dialogue and the spirit of resolving issues between the two countries. I'm sure Kenya, as the chair of IGAD, sometimes have been calling meetings on and off in order to see that the two parties are brought together to discuss their differences. And our differences are a remnant of what we have agreed in the Comprehensive Peace Agreement. And that is the issue of border demarcation, the issue of oil itself, the issue of ABA, the issue of South Kordofan and Southern Blue Nile. There is a protocol signed in Nabasha that gives a political solution to that problem. So we don't see any reason why Sudan is accusing the Republic of South Sudan that we are involved in supporting opposition groups in South Kordofan and Southern Blue Nile. I can say here categorically and firmly, on behalf of the government of the Republic of South Sudan, we are not involved in any military support to the opposition groups in the Republic of Sudan in Khartoum. These are some of the few issues we wanted to share this morning so that you know the Comprehensive Peace Agreement survives, was born in this country. Kenya, you can't run away from it. You are the parents of this peace agreement. You must see that it is sustained, the child grows up properly without causing havoc all over the place. And this is an assurance on our part that we are committed to the CPA. Thank you very much.
Fantastic.